Oh, ask them, please. When we get going,
Ask
please
them.
ask. We definitely want to hear it.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, how did this come to be? Like, how'd y'all join? Like Voltron? Like, how did that happen?
Let me point the other way.
So it was. I guess we were. I don't know how we initially like met. I'm not sure how I met Soups, but I know I met Good Barb by way of Neo Soul Cafe, and I stopped following his podcast when I was in Houston, and I fell in love with it. So I mean, his mix show, the show Remedy. So we just start conversing over the internet, and Soups was like the bad little brother. No, I'm just playing. And I mean, I knew Al Pete because I'm originally from Jacksonville. So we just said, hey, we having this conversation about music. We all like music. We all have our little mini mixes and stuff like that. So let's just talk about it in front of everybody else. And let's bring people on, from the music that we love, and let the world know who they are. So.
And it kind of grew. We started on Instagram, and we were doing Instagram lives, regularly. And Mr. Al Pete pitched the idea, like, hey, y'all should put this together in a real format. And we decided to put it together, and it's been going. It's been rocking.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, congrats on your almost year.
Thank you.
We are the ghetto foreign exchange.
We're so stupid. It's all
You are listening to the Soul Curators podcast, where we get into the funk and soul of things. It's all about good conversations about music. So come join us.
Are we good?
Oh, we recorded.
Okay.
Yeah, we recorded.
Oh, shit. Okay. Well, let's just get to it. All right. Listen. Welcome to another episode of Soul Curators podcast. We are back. Listen, Mr. Goodbar, Christina Curate, Soup's Kitchen, but fuck all that. BeMyFiasco is here with us.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Yo. Thank you so very much for joining us. We have been huge fans of yours for a while, and we had the honor of meeting you finally in Durham at Made in Durham, and just fell in love with you all over again. And we couldn't wait to have you on to really kind of dive into everything that's related to you, your music, your journey, and all of that. So thank you for giving us the time to fan out with you today.
No, thank y'all for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
That's what's up. Before we get started, happy Women's History Month to not only you, but all who are listening.
Mm-hmm.
Real.
Yes.
So I'm gonna let the lady go next.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna be all over the place with questions, but my question to you is, being that it is Women's History Month, who are your inspirations music-wise?
Ooh, okay. For Women's History, I have a ton, but I'll keep it brief. So inspirations or influences, I would say. So like Anita Baker, of course, SWV, love them. Definitely some Mary in there. I'm really trying to think like what helped mold my sound. Some Mary. Aaliyah, some Shaka Khan, just some hints.
Wow.
Yeah, I like a good wail, and I know she'll give you a good one. So yeah, that's in there somewhere. Yeah, off the top of my head, those are like the ones that come to mind.
Okay, cool.
So out of those, out of the group of people that you listed, who was the one that your mom played the most?
Ooh. Yeah. It's a tie between Anita and SWV, probably.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, like, Anita got played when it was time to clean up the house and everything?
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's a stand. Got to.
Yes.
Look. As a fellow Texan, I got to go into some gangbang-ish right now real quick. So, you're from Dallas, right? So I actually lived in Dallas for a good majority of my life. So I was going to ask you, what high school did you go? What schools did you go to? What area of Dallas were you from?
Oh wow. I went to DeSoto. I graduated from DeSoto.
I went to BA, Brian Adams.
Oh, okay. All right. All right.
We I didn't stay there, but
I'll leave you alone today. It's Women's History Month. I'm trying to keep it clean.
no. Yo, we look. I'm trying to figure out where I want to start because, like Christina said, we are all over the place. So, what I'd like to know is about before we get to the last project that you just dropped recently. I want to go back in time to some of your other projects, like the Solitude album. Can you tell us about what was the thought process and the process for creating that EP and putting yourself out there musically, and how you produced that project, and how you felt it was received and what you liked most from it?
Way to dig deep. Thank you. That warmed my soul. Thank you so much. So that attitude was birthed out of like a very terrible relationship, and my friends were like, "Hey, you should make a project." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." I'm in college. I think I had maybe like a year left or so, and this is when you would like scour the internet for beats. So I was, a SoundCloud baby at the time. So I was just pulling any and everything I liked from SoundCloud and Bandcamp at the time. And there was an audio engineering student, John Jackson, wherever he may be, love him. He stayed up with me in like the middle of the night, like 2, 3 a.m. before class to like help me mix everything down and like engineer things. We didn't know what we were doing, to be quite honest. And all I knew was like, I'm gonna sing some songs, I'm gonna put them on here. And it was basically no marketing plan. It was just press release on SoundCloud, and that was the plan. There was no rollout. There was nothing. So once it came out, I feel like I've been going nonstop since. That was February 2013. And so, yeah, a little over a decade later, we're still here, and I still perform those songs to this day.
That's dope.
It's cool. So I actually enjoy, I may be saying it wrong, SBYFU. Is that how you say it when you?
It is.
That was my song when it came out. That was my joint. Can you tell us about that one? Because that's a good one.
Man, yes, I can. So I was doing a 30-day challenge where I was doing a song a day for 30 days. It ended up being 21 days. And I think that might be like the 5th song at the time. And I was going, again, it's always the struggle and the strife. It's always the best ones. I feel like like it has to be some struggle in there for you to get the good ones. But I was going, everything in that song is very much true. And I was going through a terrible breakup. And I don't even think I really wrote it. It wrote itself. Because that was just my feeling at the time. And thus birthed that beautiful song, and it got picked up by a cool distributor, and people love that song. Yeah. And it was the first time my mama heard really cussing on a song. She was like, "Oh, okay. All right. That's what we doing. All right." I was like, it's art,
cool,
mama.
Right. It's cool how you put it as an acronym, so you didn't have to actually, but you could. You know what? We know what you were saying.
Well, no shout out to that ex. No shout out to him, but thank you for the inspiration. But no shout out to him.
It was some years ago. No hard feelings, forgiveness.
Hey, yeah.
Healing.
So with you mentioned that was the first time your mom heard you cuss on a record. Is making records and your mom enjoys the record, like, does it matter if anybody else enjoys it as long as your mom enjoys it? Or like, how does that? Now, only reason I'm asking, because I saw you and your mom like jamming out the Music Soul Child. So I saw that and I was just like, y'all having fun. So like, that was the only reason I'm asking that part of it.
Well, she always asks if I need additional backgrounds, or she always likes to contribute. I always decline, respectfully. But no, like when I'm making stuff for me. Like whatever I like, whatever's kind of authentic and honest to me, because I know somebody else probably feels the exact same way,
Right.
or has. It just so happens that she may like it. Yeah. So if ever she puts up a video of her dancing to it, that's the one that she likes the most. Like, feel, like, hey, I like all of these, but like, no, this one. Or I think it was, what did she tell me? One of her friends or something was like, oh, I really love You and I. And, we play it, during the times. And I was like, wait, hold on. No, I don't need to know when anybody plays it. Okay. No, yeah, she tries to contribute, but we respectfully decline.
Respectfully decline. Okay, so one of the things that have always drawn the three of us to your sound and to who you are is your originality. The first thing is that you don't sound like nobody else I've ever heard. Like your voice is extremely distinct. Like when I hear a song and you're on it, I know it's you, and that's one of the great things about listening to your music. You don't sound like nobody else, and the melody is just so it feels like a soft pillow. It's just perfect. I love it. So that's one of the unique things about you. Another unique thing that we're probably going to ask you about is, where did your unique name come from, and how did you come up with that? It's dope. I've never heard nobody break their name down like that. And so, can you explain what BeMyFiasco means or what it comes from?
Sure. And thank you. I appreciate that. That's very high praise, considering, usually people try to put you somewhere. They're going to put you somewhere. Oh, you sound like, or it feels like
right.
this. I let people do their thing. But, okay, so the name comes from, let me see. So back on Twitter, long ago when I first got on Twitter, like 2009, when Diddy was in Making the Band and made us all join, I was like, I remember like there was a huge push for it at the time. I was like, oh, he's on Twitter. What's on Twitter? I don't know. I get to talk to, it was that. So I was a huge Lupe Fiasco fan. Well, I am still a huge Lupe Fiasco fan, and I was loving Lasers at the time. And I think Lasers was like, he was still kind of anti with it and struggling with Atlantic at the time. So I was like, maybe I should change it. This feels a little, I don't know. So I'm down in Atlanta with my mom at the convention center for some convention. And I'm writing down all these different combinations of like Lupe-isms and names and things and my name. And then I stumble upon BeMyFiasco. And I was like, that sounds kind of cool. I'll just change my Twitter name. And then at the time I was in college and people were calling you by your Twitter name in public, which seems a little deranged now. And one day, because on the first tape I used my government name, but one day I was like, I'm gonna just change everything. Website, name, all that. And then eventually I was like, maybe it'll encompass a band. It sounds kind of like a band name, so right. That was kind of birthed that way. So yeah, through my love of Lupe and his struggles, and here we are. Which I feel like sometimes it's essentially saying like, be my downfall. You gotta be real careful about your names. But that's where we are. I try to speak.
Listen, we are kindred spirits, because Mr. Goodbar is birthed from that exact same story. I was signing on an OK Player. I was listening to LL Cool J on random, and the song Mr. Goodbar come on, and I was trying to sign in and just come up with a random moniker, because I was like, I'm just going to be here for a little. I didn't realize I was going to be using that name forever. And so when we got into a creative space, everybody on the social media knows me as that. And so I was trying to find a name when I went into radio, and they was like, and I was talking to Von P from Tanya Morgan. He was like, why would you change your name? Everybody knows you as that. And I was like,
well,
so, yeah. Hey, so I feel you on that. That's dope. Thank you for sharing that. That's dope. And I think it's a dope origin too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about the album. Let's talk about your album that was released. Give me the year. Yes, there it is.
That is 2021. That album gets played heavy in my household. Every road trip that we've had, we went to Disney in 2022. That album got played heavy.
Yes, and it's still in the plastic.
I'm not playing with you. I'm not playing with you, BeMyFiasco. I am not playing. This is not gonna come out the plastic. I'm not playing with you.
I
Okay?
feel you. I keep it in the plastic. I keep it in
Yes,
the plastic.
I am not playing with you.
So how has your experience been with foreign exchange? I know that this album was under the label, correct? And Fonte was the executive producer.
Mhm.
So tell us about the process of this album.
Yeah, so let's see. We kind of got to go back a little bit. Okay, so early 2021, I was still teaching back in Texas, and I think he sent me. I think we had already did Talking to Myself with Zoe and Tall Black, but then Zoe also sent the beat for Caramel. So we essentially did Caramel first. He just sent it over. I wrote it through and then sent it back. And he was like, yeah, like that's, this is the one. The songs that are usually, that I don't like are usually the songs they're going to pick. So like I didn't like Caramel. I was just like, I feel like maybe it's repetitive. Maybe it's too, because as an artist, you're ahead about everything. Well, maybe they won't. And he was like, no. So whatever. So we get Caramel done. And I think this is probably the summertime. And he's like, Fonte is like, hey, you should come down here so we can finish this album. You're going to have to go back to school to teach in August. I was like, okay, I got the summer off. We got 2 weeks. Let's knock this album out. We got 2 weeks. I'm like, okay, we only have Caramel at this time, I believe. And I think I had Love Feels is old. Love Feels is from 2018, and we just repurposed it. And then through the middle, I already kind of had my own little idea for it. So those are kind of the only things we had. So he's like, come to North Carolina. I've never been. And we had never we met like at shows and stuff, but we had never chopped it up. So this is my first time actually just being in the space with Fonte too. So mind you, phone calls, sure, but it's never in person. So I get there and it is gorgeous. It's wonderful. I'm like, I love North Carolina. It's so nice here. Maybe I can move here. All that. And so we're up 24 hours a day for 2 weeks trying to crank out songs. And he has the track list kind of already set up, which is nice. So he's like, I have these songs. I think it's, 10, 11, how many's on there. We go through them in order. And I'm like, yep. Love everything. So he's like, all right, which one you want to start with first? And we just start knocking them out. Team No Sleep. And we have all the BTS, of course, on YouTube, of at least 5 or 6 of the songs that you can see and kind of see the process. But 2 weeks goes by. We finished pretty much everything except for, I think You and I was best. Mind you, You and I is a freestyle. I did it at the house, and I just turned on the mic, and that's what came out, right? And again, the songs that I don't are the songs that he's like, no, fam, this is the one. And I'm like, I don't know, not really. So that's how 2 weeks in, the album is pretty much done. It has to be mixed and mastered. But he's like, hey, can you do another week? Get some photos and some videos and some content. I'm like, okay. We got to find clothes. We got to find hair. We got to do nails. We got to do makeup. And I have a week to get all of this done before I have to go back to be in the classroom. We get it done. We're exhausted. First of all, never again. We vowed never again. But we got it done in those 3 weeks. And then by then, I think in the middle of that, we shot the little rollerblading for Caramel, maybe the little canvas. We had, again, no real marketing plan yet. We were just making music at the time. And he was like, all right, guess you can go back. So I fly back to Texas all sad. I'm like, best week of my life. You get to make, I'm doing nothing but music from sun up to sundown. And I got to go back and teach, love the kids, but my me. So by the time the album comes out, maybe not even a month later, I'm in North Carolina. He's just like, hey, it's doing well. You want to come out here? Want to make some more music? And I'm like, yeah, cool. So we, I drive, I pack up, and here we are 2 years later.
Wow. So I'm an educator also. I teach high school. So I remember you saying you were a teacher. So yes, I understand your struggle.
On the other end, kindergarten, I couldn't do
Jesus.
You're on the
Y'all got to deal with like the regular kids. I had to deal with the behavior kids. That's some that
That's a whole nother.
I no longer work with kids at this point. Like that ruined my whole like. But when you was talking about how you came with this album, how did Violets come? Like you were the background vocals for Violets. Like how did that come about? Because I was older than this. I believe that was 2019, 2018.
So I think Fontaine, I met unofficially, obviously on Twitter, and he liked Monday Morning Blues from my Layers project because it was FE inspired. It was basically, we kind of like took the hi-hats in the field from, oh my gosh, my brain hurts. Call It Home. There we go. Call It Home. And I think I sent it to him, and 2 weeks later, he's like, yo, send me this. This is amazing. And I'm like, wow, he responded to me. It's crazy. I would go to shows, we would talk, like we would know, we knew each other, but it wasn't cool or whatever. So we're emailing, and finally we're just like FaceTime, we're chopping it up. I remember like freaking out, like, oh my God, is this happening? And this was at a time, like this was a few months passed after us meeting, and he's like, hey, can you lay down some vocals for me? And I was like, bet. Got my little setup at the crib. Sure, whatever, I got you. I'm trying to be casual with him. I'm like, oh my God, what?
Yeah.
I do this. So, but he would never tell me what it was for. For the first like couple of years, he would just be like, sing this, but he wouldn't tell me what it's for. So I just did, for Violets or whatever. Send it back. Don't hear anything for months, 6, 7 months. And he's like, hey, I think the Vibe article came out with the track list. I think we made the Robert Glasper Miles Davis album. And I was like, what? You just gonna casually throw that out there?
Right.
Because you would freak out, and then you would be all weird. And I was like, no, you're right, but like for real. So when it came out, I remember like sitting in like a Target or whatever, like going to go see it, and just because I wanted to see the credits. And of course he credited me, but then he credited I think on the liner notes it's like Precious House Studios, I want to say, if you ever go look in the liner notes of that. And that's on there because I would be recording. I was fresh out of college at my mama's house, and it was one day where I locked the door, and I don't know if I didn't clean some dishes or what, but she was on like 10,000, like kicking the door, like, you wait, like, are you okay?
Oh my God.
So he labeled my studio Precious House Studios from Precious. So,
That's crazy. That's crazy.
With that, now that brings my second question, because with you saying, that he brought that, he made your studio Precious House Studio. I know Fontaine is a big movie, TV show person. Are you also in that? Like, do you watch TV or have a, favorite movie that you do throughout your process of creating? And like, what is that something that you enjoy? Like, is that part of your routine?
I don't think I'm as big as a movie buff as he is. I'm a reader. I'm more so like books. So I like all the, like, for me, again, I love TV, I love movies, but I think I like to create the story in my head when I thought it should be. Because, when they turn books into movies, you're like, oh, that's not how I saw it.
Exactly.
Not it. But I think we're both goofy and very just like ridiculous, and it works. Like, he's my favorite songwriting partner because we're essentially the same when we're writing. Like, usually it's like I got a line and he's like, oh yeah, that. But this work, yeah. So it's very, it's pretty cool. But yeah, I pull from wherever I can, and then So at this phase, it's nice to not have to do all the writing by myself.
Good. So that kind of brings me into my question as far as visualizing, scenarios and what you envision things as. And I got to the standout song for me in that particular category would be the 2-Car Garage song. I kind of, when I heard it, I could kind of see a video for it in my head, right? So if you would, I know you probably have told the story a million times. Would you be able to kind of tell us kind of what inspired that, and if this is true, what's fabricated, and is there an elongated version of that? Like what happened?
I mean, okay, so we did have the cartoon version of the video, but even the video is still it's still not the same. So, for example, that is a very true story. And there's also BTS on the story as well. So if anybody wants to go to YouTube to get a little bit more, it's in there. So Fonte already had the need a two-car garage, manicure and massage. He already had that piece, just that. That was it. And we're sitting and we're enjoying like barbecue one day, and I'm just randomly telling him this story about like, I was like, you remember when I went to LA? Like briefly, like I moved there, and then so the story is I moved to LA, drove my car across, met this lady on like a Facebook group, stayed in her house with this other married couple. And I'm in the Valley, so a little bit outside of LA. And what ends up happening? She has a Chihuahua, and I have Mona, dog. And I have my own room at least. So one day in my room, I have a package of Oreos in my room. Okay, in my room. And somehow her dog goes into my room and eats some of the Oreos. And I get this really long message, which I found still in my phone, by the way. I should probably post it one day. Of her like, oh, you were being irresponsible by leaving Oreos out. And now her dog was sick and throwing up and had diarrhea or something like that. And I was like, girl, did I leave him in the living room or something in a common space? No. Why is your dog in my room? Like, first of all. So she was like just pissed. And then that same day, my car gave out at the same time. Like the engine just sounded terrible and I already knew. So my car gave out. She's going through and she's like, I want you out, basically. And I'm like, well, okay, fine. So I have my friends come by and like pack up my car with all the stuff in my room. I have them watch it. And then like a few weeks later, the car is gone. And I just recently figured out like kind of where it is. And that's 2019. Yeah. So very true. Very true.
Wow.
That actually did. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Where is we gotta help you find this car. We gotta get this car situation taken care of.
I went to LA in like last September or October, and I was like, let me just try to figure out at least what happened to it. So I did know it got towed like Christmas Day 2019. So I'm guessing it got impounded, but I still have no idea what happened after that, because literally I think the pandemic hit like a few months later, like by the time, because it wasn't towed yet. I think until Christmas. I was like, okay, I'll just wait, because I was thinking about coming back. I was like, oh, I'm going to come back. It's fine. But pandemic hit, and it was like, oh, well, nope, nobody's answering their phones, all that. So I was just like, and just messed up anyway. Mind you, love that car. It was white on white, the red, black leather seats. It was a semi.
Wow.
Oh, I love that car. But, it's fine. I'll do a post. Like, she told me what the car actually looked like, what the real Chihuahua looked like. I'll have to, because that is a true story. Yeah.
Wow.
That's an incredible story.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man. So it's
So we had a interview with Cy Smith recently, and of course she talked about her new album, and she told us that you had a lot to play. You guys did a lot of writing in the album. So how was that experience for you? I'm sure you enjoyed it, because her personality is so sweet. Both of you guys have such a sweet personality, so I know you guys enjoyed it. So how was that process for you?
Oh man, I love Sai. Sai has been very instrumental in just, kind of just showing me the ropes, especially just like as a woman, as a Black woman, like navigating this whole thing. She's just been very sweet, very kind. And she just messaged me one day and was like, hey, I could use some help on writing this album. I'd love for you to come up. So we were all going to meet with Zoe and Tall Black in DC. And so we had kind of like a little mini writing camp, and it was like maybe 4 days. And like all of us haven't really been in the space like that. Like I think that might have been my first real time with like Zoe and Top. Like that was really my first time with everybody kind of in the space. And we just, took some time to eat breakfast and lunch, and we just wrote. And so it was like Sai giving her usual sideness, and then I'll give my side, and then she's like, oh, okay, I kind of like that. I like a little bit of, so it was nice to, again, have somebody to bounce ideas off of. And I mean, I knew it was going to be before we even did those songs. Like, she'd already played everything else, and I was like, yeah, can't wait. Wonderful work, as always. So, yeah, it was so much fun. It was just like being with your family, you know.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Speaking of your writing and your features, look, the chokehold you have my ass on right now with like a couple of joints you just dropped that you're on is crazy. Okay, so first of all, the My Freedom Travel. Listen, I cannot stop freaking playing that song. I love that song so much. That has me in a complete chokehold. Like, it's crazy. And then you turned around and didn't let up on me. You dropped the Your Body joint with Misha.
Oh.
What you trying to do to us, man? Like, I can't let up. These joints is so fire. We all love them so much. Can you tell us about those songs in particular?
Yeah, so with the My Freedom joint, so Tall Black hit me like it had to be the day before he needed it done. I'm pretty sure he was like, "Hey, I have this thing." You know, people love just like, "Hey, can you do this thing like right now?" And like I love TP. That's my family. So I was like, yeah, I got you. You know, so he was like, hey, I need you to do this. Here's kind of the sample, but then I kind of want you to just kind of ad lib and be free with it. So the first thing, whatever came to mind was what you got, essentially. And, you know, I had no idea what it was going to do, where it was going to go, but I knew it was pretty, it was fun, and anything that they do, you know, I love. So I was just like, all right, you know, what you need me to do? Okay. You know. So I absolutely love that song. And I think I feel like I gained like a little bit of a different audience with that one. Just different sounds, you know, that was just a different space. So I absolutely love that one. I run that all the time too, just for the feel.
Yeah.
The Misha's, the story between him and I is really cool because it almost kind of mimics Tay and Nicolay just a little bit. Is, you know, I'm here, Misha's in Finland, and he did like a cold email, and I get all the time, you know, for beats producers and all that. And he sent me like a pack. He's like, hey, I love to work. Have no idea who this person is, but I'm like, okay, he works with people that I know. Maybe he's decent, you know, whatever. I play the songs and I'm like, yo, yeah. So he gives me his plan. He's like, yo, I'm gonna do an album. I love do one of the songs. That's the beat that I chose. And I remember being in like a weird space too, where I was like, I don't even really feel like writing. I don't know what I have to say, but you know, as you see, you got things. So that worked out. But he was like, hey, I'm going to come to the States. I'm doing a show in LA. Would you come? And I was like, yeah, you know, so he came out last like September or whatever, or October, went out there, did the show with me and Deborah Bond, and because they together, flew out there, and then we actually recorded another one. So we traded. So I did one for his, and he's doing one for mine. And I'm probably go to Finland and more music just because he's really cool. Like he's dope. So yeah, he'll be a frequent collaborator.
Yo, you slid on Your Body. Like it was just like it was perfect. It was just like. It wasn't like you even tried. It was just so, look, I can't get enough. And then the let me take you for a ride part. Oh my God, yo.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite part of the song. It's like, I just need a moment. Just need a moment right now.
Yeah, so. Yo.
Yeah, that's a perfect song to just ride to.
Definitely.
I'm asking more so about the newer part of the music. I noticed that you are currently learning to play the guitar. Is that going to be something that you're going to incorporate in your new album?
Yes, actually. So for this one, the very first song that I started when I kind of started the album, the centerpiece for it is a song that I played on guitar. And it's a song with Tall Black. I think we FaceTimed. Like, so I had the idea, I was playing it on my guitar, and he's like, hey, can you record it down? And I was like, what you mean? Like me? I'm just wanted to play it and put it down so somebody else could play it. And of course, Fonte's like, no, we're going to leave that. Like, this is just done. He was like, no, it's you. Like, you're playing it. And I think I recorded myself for the first time, like playing and recording it down. So I'm pretty sure I'll post it at some point. But we're on FaceTime. So I'm doing my part, recording my part. Tall Black is recording his part, like on mute. And we get it down and he sends it to me and I send him my part and we're both like, yo. And I'm like, yo, okay, I think this is it. So there's some guitar playing, a little bit of co-production. So I did a little bit of just like production on a couple of the songs. Nothing crazy. Okay, don't think I was really, really out here, but I'm starting. So yeah, a lot of new stuff. Definitely writing. I think I did the majority of the writing on here this go round. But yeah, we're getting there. We're rounding third on the album, I'd say.
So does this time go? Does this process, this go around? Is this are you able to enjoy it a little bit more because it's not so confined? It's not like a 3-week process. It's been a longer process. Like, is this something that you're able to like really take time and take more? Take it in more.
I will say I like the fact that we only had a certain amount of time because I could do it and be done with it.
Right.
Versus now I've had, sometimes you got to do a little bit of living to have the material. Because some people are like, oh, I want albums every 6 months or every year. And it's like, sometimes I don't have nothing to say. You need me living if you want the music to be good, Right. So, yeah, yeah. But anyway, yes. Yeah, there are things. Again, you need some time. But yes, to answer your question, yes, everything was cool. I'm excited. And yeah, I lost my train of thought. So we out. We done.
Well, be clear. Be clear. We aren't the type of people that's like, hey, when the next one coming out? We ain't rushing it. We ready when you ready. So we're not those. We're not those people. We ready. We understand that the living has to happen. So we ready for it. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you ready, we ready. But it's just we're glad that you are. Yeah.
Yeah, I hate to see people, consumers. I guess that's just social media and the internet has made people think they can say whatever the fuck they want to say to artists. But it's like, okay, so you post something. So when you coming out with something new, not you particularly, but just in general, I'm like, y'all just let people live. You know?
I also feel too is, the group Foreign Exchange and you make timeless music. So it's not like, I can still, if I want to hear BeMyFiasco, I can go back and listen to anything and I'm still feeling like I'm listening to it brand new today. So it's not like, okay, when you making something else, because you've made something so perfect, I can go back and listen to it and it will fit every time I listen to it. So, there's no rush to make anything. Like, we're perfect, with the music that you've given us has been perfect so far. So just excited for your new project, but there's no rush.
And I think you got to understand from our perspective, like hearing that you did this project in 3 damn weeks and we have been running it consistently since it dropped and just enamored with it and have lived with it and have, you know what I'm saying? We've been able to live with it and you did it in 3 weeks. Like, that's incredible. And it's still outlasting albums that people took a year to make, 6 months to make. This body of work is really, really incredible. And I think what we want to just express to you that you deserve your flowers, you know what I'm saying, for what you have done thus far. We're ready for what's coming, but right now you are stamping yourself in a way that's different, and we just appreciate it, like, for real. And again, this 3-week thing is not nothing to laugh at. It's like, it's crazy that it's this good and this, I mean, it's a dense album. It's good from front to back. Like, there's no skips. Like, that's why when you dropped that vinyl, I was like, I gotta have it. That's why it's still in the plastic.
I mean, I think just come into just to kind of give people like you're still visible, you're still out here, I'm still doing stuff. So even if it's like I'm not giving you a full body of work, I'm still making music, I'm still doing things. So I think that kind of helps in a way. In my opinion, it's like, hey, we're still doing music, so just be patient. It's coming,
That's facts.
So we were all in Durham for Made in Durham, and your performance with Zoe and Tall Black Guy, and it was great. I want to go back to when they performed the first time. Zoe and Tall Black Guy performed with Darian Rockington and Fonte. That was in Raleigh? Remember when they did the show before Maiden Durham?
Oh, at the Pin. Yeah, I think that's in Raleigh.
Oh yeah.
That was to me, I know all of them were emotional because I got emotional watching it because that was the first time in I don't even know how many years that they were all on stage. Mm-hmm. That energy was amazing, right? I can tell it was definitely an amazing show.
Well, I mean, it was the first like I got to be in with everybody. Because again, like I was just kind of brought into the family. So it was like seeing all your, your older cousins in the same space. And like I hadn't even met, I don't think I had met Nick yet officially. So he was there. I seen Darian, of course, Carlita, like I see her frequently, but a lot of like seeing everybody in the same space for the first time. No, like that was like, it was, and I could tell it meant, not that it didn't mean a lot to me, but it definitely meant a lot to them. It was a really fun time. We had a good time, and yeah, I wish we could do it.
Yes, I wish so too.
Yeah, I was
see that. Yeah, that was amazing. Mm-hmm.
So you ain't got no sports questions?
I did. I was waiting for the time. I was waiting for it.
Sports questions? Okay.
By you being from Dallas, you're a Cowboys fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Browns fan, so I understand your struggle.
I don't think that's the same.
Look, hey, we coming up. We about to win one. We about to win one. We gonna win one before y'all do. I know that for a fact. I know that for a fact.
This is when we abandon the professional part of this interview at this point.
I just wanted to let you know that the Browns fans, we gonna win one before the Cowboys win one. I know it's a struggle,
They didn't even give y'all a mascot. They gave you a color. No thanks. No. I don't think
we have an elf.
That was a good one.
She ready. She came ready.
I get it.
On my team, okay? Everybody, you can't talk about my team. We know what we are, but you can't say anything about it. If I'm gonna be delusional, I'm delusional with my team. It's fine. It's cool.
Are you just a football fan, or are you also basketball too? Do you enjoy the Dallas Mavericks?
I haven't caught up in basketball since like 04, 05. So don't ask me no things. I don't know. They're all at this point. I have no idea who is there at this point. Mm-mm.
So you mentioned in the process of your creative process that living is very important. You got to live and just kind of let life sometimes. So what are some of the things that you do to kind of do what living is? You know what I'm saying? Like what's your off time look like as far as going out and experiencing the world and bumping into fans who love your music and ask you crazy questions and all that other shit?
Man, I mean, I feel like a lot of the life comes to me, so I never have to really create the things that happen, which is unfortunate sometimes. But I guess it makes for great music. Yeah, most of it is like just life. Life happens, and so there are highs and lows, ebb and flows, and between like family things or relationships or work or my friends and their things. Like sometimes I'm not writing from my perspective, I'm writing from somebody else's, or something that I heard or an interpretation of something else that I feel from listening to something else. So I just think there are moments where you're just like, I don't have anything to say, or I don't want to just crowd up and take space for the sake of taking up space. So that's what I do think artists should probably take more time, but I know it's hard because everything moves so fast. But I think life will give you enough material if you wait long enough. So
that's facts. That's big fact. That's
Mm-hmm.
big fact.
Do you think it's by you being with foreign exchange? Do you think it's easier to take your time because they don't come across as like they've got to put out all these different projects all the time? It's like they're working, but you know they take their time on a project. So is it easier with being with them to take your time on projects?
Yes and no. No, because I'm like the baby, essentially, and I'm younger. So like in my, demographic, we're very much like go, go, go. We need singles, we need EPs, we need projects. So I feel that pull on one side, and then the other pull I pull from them of like, no, we're gonna take our time. You wanna put something out here, you don't have to. You can, but you don't. So I think depending on the day, it depends on where I lean. Like right now, I'm very much like, okay, we have a deadline. We're going to finish this. It's cool. Then other days I'm like, why do I not have a single yet? Should we put out a single? Like today, no plan, no nothing. Need some music, so it's nice to have them to kind of ground me back. But sometimes I have to talk to Fontaine and be like, no, I need, okay, so here's what the young people are doing. Let me explain what's happening. You have, I'm sure I have, so.
We the street team now. So look, we are your street team now. So anything you want to funnel through or get people's ears on, of course, do not hesitate to reach out to us. We all have individual platforms that we are happy to put your music on. So please do not hesitate to shoot it over to us, and we got you.
You stay in rotation over here. Like all your music is in heavy rotation. So thank you.
And we only interview people we like. It's a lot of artists that want to talk to us, but we really, we'll keep it real. Like we family here. We don't really be talking to people that we don't mess with like that. It's a couple of people that's on our shit list, but you definitely somebody we love. So you good.
No, oh my God. Okay.
Like crazy.
Right.
Like crazy. So happy Women's History Month again. And we usually do this thing. I guess we should have told you beforehand. We talk about like our t-shirts and what we have on. And
we push the merch. We push merch too. So yeah.
Yeah, we do. So I have on a Black Girls Love Math, which of course is not always true, but of course I do because I teach math.
Go ahead, Mr. Gilbert.
Well, since Zoe came up in the conversation, and I did tell him we'd be talking to you tonight, so he's excited about that too. So I decided to throw on the Intention and Purpose T-shirt. You know what I'm saying? From one of my favorite Zoe songs. And shout out to the homie Zoe. You know what I'm saying?
I am wearing my own merch. It's a Soup's Kitchen hoodie. And I'm wearing the other side. I'm wearing the Remedy. So
Cool beans.
Yeah, he had to put that pin on that Rock Nation. I like it. So
yeah.
and we see BeMyFiasco in the mustard yellow hoodie. You know what I'm saying? Repping that. You know what I'm saying?
No. Okay. Really right on it, but this is my recording hoodie. So I've been recording all day and in rehearsal all day. So anytime I have the yellow hoodie on, usually like I'm recording that day. I don't know why. It's my favorite color. Yellow is my favorite color, and this is the most comfortable Target hoodie that one could find. And I literally record everything, no matter rain, snow, sleet, hail, shine. I'm in this hoodie. So.
Well,
you
we appreciate you taking.
Knowing that you had a long day, we definitely appreciate you for coming on, because I understand, honey. I know
That's
it's been a long day, and you're probably like, get tired of this damn computer.
Yeah, we appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to get with us and your recording to talk to us. And we are so happy for everything that you're doing and everything that's got going on. So please don't forget, just whenever you need anything, any way we could support you, please let us know. Don't hesitate. We are happy to do it.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I also want to say, for the listeners, please drop us a comment and subscribe to our podcast so that we can get more listeners. And we'll see you guys soon.
All right. So thank you for joining us for another episode of the Soul Curators podcast. Shout out to BeMyFiasco kicking it with us. Shout out to Mr. Al Pete, the MPN Network. And we are out. Peace and love, y'all.
Peace.
Thank you for tuning in to the Soul Curators podcast, powered by the MPN Network. You can check us out on all streaming platforms where podcasts are available.